Hey everyone, what's happening? Please take a second to hit the subscribe button and enjoy the video. Hey everyone, what's happening? This video is gonna be on how to replace an AC condenser / transmission cooler in a 2009 Ford Escape. The one we have here, the AC condenser side sprung a leak, so we need to replace the entire thing. We have the new one here in a box. It just came today. So we'll get that unpackaged and start the install procedure. First, you need to remove these two 10mm bolts here on the top. One at each side. Next, once you have those 10mm bolts out from both sides, you carefully pull the grill back and you'll see two 7mm bolts, one on either corner, that attaches the grill to the bumper, and you'll need to remove those two. Next, once you have those two 8mm screws out from each side of the bumper, there are two more 10mm down here that attach the grill to the top part of the bumper. And the other one's right here. Once you have those two nuts off those studs that are into the top part of the bumper, there are three clips, one on each side and one in the middle, that you need to release, and then the entire grill will snap out of the bumper. Okay, there we have the grill off the vehicle, and we have the AC condenser exposed and ready to be uninstalled. Next, you have two more 10mm bolts. One right here in the top right and another in the top left. You need to take both of those out. The bottom just snaps into clips that are on the radiator. You need to unbolt your AC lines and take the clips off your two transmission cooler lines. Okay, as you can see, we got both of those nuts off those studs for the AC lines. They're 1/2-inch nuts, and you can come through the hole there with a wrench and in to get to them because the bumper here is in the way in the front. Once you have those off, the last thing you got to do is remove the two transmission hoses that connect. Right there. The AC lines, once you unbolt them, they just slide off. They have O-rings there. Once you get both of them out, you can slide the AC condenser up some to give you more room to get into the clamps here. As you can see, I have both of them off. Now all we gotta do is pull the lines and the AC condenser will be out. Once you get both of the transmission lines off there, the AC condenser transmission cooler will pull right out. As you can see, these fittings have barbs on. You got to work the hoses back and forth and they'll come off. There we have the old one out, and now it'll be time to reverse the process and put the new one in. Here's what it looks like down in here with it out. There's your two AC lines over there with the O-rings. Make sure they're clean before putting them back in the new one. Your new condenser probably will come with caps over the transmission lines. You'll need to remove them before installing the condenser. It'll probably come with dummy plugs over your AC ports. You'll need to remove them as well. and install the studs that come zip tied right here. We have the new AC condenser with the studs installed, ready to go back in the vehicle. Okay, here we have both of the transmission cooler lines hooked back up to the new AC condenser and transmission cooler. Next, we'll hook up the AC lines to the other side here, and then replace the two 10mm bolts at the top. Okay, so we got the new AC condenser and transmission cooler installed. We have the AC lines all hooked back up here, and the bolt back in there, the 10mm, and on this side, bolts in there, and the transmission lines are back on. Now we just got to install the grill, and then start the car and go for a little spin to let the transmission fluid refill up the cooler, and then add some if we're low, and then we'll need to charge the AC back up using the low side right here, which I'll show you when we get to that step. But next we're going to get this grill back on. Okay, and here we are, all put back together. You got your two 10mm bolts back up in the grill, and everything's good to go. There's the old AC condenser and transmission cooler on the ground, and the tools I used to do this was a 1/2" ratcheting wrench, a few pair of pliers there to wiggle those transmission lines loose and take the band clamps off, a swivel for the ratchet, small screwdriver to get down in between the transmission hoses and wiggle them off, 3/8 ratchet, 10mm socket, 7mm socket, a few different extensions, and a 1/2" socket for the AC lines. So you don't need very many tools, and you probably could do it even with less than these, but if you have all these, it'll make it a lot easier. So hopefully you like that video. I've seen so many on YouTube where guys spend hours taking the entire front bumper off. You definitely don't need to do that, and it's a lot of hassle. All you got to do is take the grill off, and you can get to everything right from there. Like I said, the only other thing I need to do is run the vehicle and get the transmission fluid back through the transmission cooler, and then check the transmission level and make sure it's still good. I didn't lose a whole lot in the cooler, so I don't think there's too much in there. A few drops came out of the lines, so we'll have to see. I'm not sure if I turn the cooler upside down if much would be in there or not. So I think, if anything, you only had a small amount. And then, like I said, as far as the AC, all you do is charge it there on the low side, which I'm not going to film that because there's plenty of videos on how to charge your AC system. It's pretty basic, I'm sure you know. I mean, you just connect your charging hose there, and it takes about 2 cans for this, 1.5, 6 pound, and the cans are normally 12 ounces. So you need a can and a half or maybe a little more. But other than that, it's a very easy job, and like I said, it's so much easier than taking the entire front bumper off, because that is a ton of work, and you got to take the wheel well liners loose and everything out along the bottom there to get that all off. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I mean, I never did this before, and you could do it in half hour, 40 minutes easy. And the AC condenser transmission cooler I got off eBay, it was $61. If you took this to a dealer to have this job done, I've heard people say they had quotes of well over $800. So for 70 bucks and 2 cans of Freon, it's a very easy job to do yourself. Hopefully you liked this video. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and also the bell so that way you're notified. I post a lot of videos, so you can check around my other playlists and see what all's out there. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to keep these videos coming. You can also follow me on Facebook. The link is in the description below.